Yep, there was a small connection issue, but back to our progress. So as I told you, we need to set a mirror plane, and those mirror planes will be with respect to like these lines. So these lines, you can find these lines over here. So there you go. These are the lines. So I'm gonna extrude these lines, extrude curve, give it a z factor, and give somewhere around say 3 meters, or like 3 over here would be some, let's put 300. It's just a plane, so you don't have wanted to, yeah, it's not really required that it has to exactly uh, intersect with the entire object. So those three are our mirror planes. So let's kind of like mirror our surfaces and see how it works. So these are the surfaces. I'll just pull them out. I'm doing a mirror. This is a geometry. So now I just need to set a plane. So this is the plane. So there you go. If I hide this, I've got my first set of surfaces. I've got my mirrored surfaces. Okay. Now let's just put all these surfaces back together as a single surface. So 1 and 2, and we'll quickly hide this. So that's the first one. Now we need all these lines to be mirrored. So I'm gonna do another same mirror. Control C, Control V, and mirror these lines. So if I turn on the preview, if you see, those are the second set of lines. I'll now hide this so we can see things much more clearly. So we've got that also mirrored. So I'll just quickly put all of them in a single line curve component. These are the first set of lines. These are the second set of lines. There you go. So I'm gonna hide this. I've got surfaces, I've got the curves. Now I've got these lines. These lines are the third thing that we need to mirror, and we are good to go. So I'm using the same mirror, Control C, Control V. I'm gonna plug these lines and join them with this. So I've got the third set happening. So we've got everything happening. Now we can hide everything else apart from these. So these are the three inputs. Now we need those arcs. So we've got those over here. Knobs curve. So I'll set a curve function again to this and take it out here. So we've got all of it. Let's quickly pipe them. So that's the upper surface. This is a set of curves. I'm gonna do a pipe. Pipe. This is a curve. Now I'm setting a radius of 200. Phew, 200 is a lot. Uh, okay, say something between 10. Yeah, that seems doable. I can bring it a little bit down. Now we need all these other frames which are over here. So say I'm talking about, oh, not these. So one set of lines which are over here, these three lines, and then we listed a group over here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We need these frames also. So I'm gonna just quickly connect these to another curve. So I'm kind of like using new curve components. So, like we don't have to come every other time and take it out, but instead just quickly pull things in together. So, yep, not bad. Now we've got these curves. I'm gonna pipe these curves also. And I'm gonna give a, like a thicker factor. Yeah, that's thick enough. Now this will follow along. The same thickness will follow along for these curves. And the same thickness as the top will follow along for these curves. So those are our two number sliders. Let's keep it here. So we piped it. Yes. So now like playing around with these factors like height. This is the first height. This is second height. Then like you can play around with the scale. Over here you can play along with the scale, and then you can kind of like play around with the height. So we've kind of like made a parametric modifiable script with respect to this. Well and good. Now what we need to do, one final step, is kind of like make this bottom extrusion and kind of like mirror it on all sides. So very easy. We've got all these components. Now I need to extrude the bottommost. This is what I need to extrude. So I'm doing an extrude curve. I can do a Z value. And since I wanted to extrude on the bottom, I'm going to give a negative. And I can take one of these number sliders from here and plug this here. So I've got the extrusion. So now changing this will kind of like change the entire design for us. Let's keep this over here. Let's reduce the height. Now this has to be of a higher scale, say 30. A little bit lesser if you may. So, and then this height could go a little bit more less. 800, this should be somewhere around half of that. Yeah, almost there. But if you kind of like see, like this, there is a difference over here, like which we need to bridge. So let's offset this hexagon before we do all this. I'll just plug this hexagon into a curve. So this is our hexagon. So I need to offset this hexagon, offset this is my curve. I've kind of like, I need to offset it by the highest value here. So the highest out of these two is 10. So if I give it, it's gonna kind of like cover all of it. Now I can just, like give the extrude function from here to there. So there is your extrusion, but it's going to be a hollow extrusion. So again, you need to cap it. So cap holes. So this is our final output. So all these are our final outputs. So there you go. So without, I can hide everything else. So we've got this. Now we can the only final step is, like kind of like making multiple mirrors of this. So for this again, like mirror, we need those planes. So like we can take the biggest hexagon, and we've deconstructed it already. We have the edges, so I can put the edges into a set of curves. So see, we've got all the separate edges. Now I can just like bring them out, extrude Z, and say 300. So these will become the mirror plane. Now all this have to be together. So I'm going to be connecting all of it into one particular B-rep. Upper surface, pipes again, and the lower extrusion. So I've got all of it together in one particular boundary representation. So I just have to mirror. This is what I need to mirror, and I'm mirroring this with respect to these planes. So I can quickly just group this and hide this. So if you see, like I'll have to again, like graphed over here. So each of those surfaces are becoming individual surfaces, and then, like I can just mirror them all across. Uh, so instead of grafting this over here as an individual value, I can just graft all of them together. So each of it becomes an individual object. You won't have any trouble after this. So there you go. That's with respect to, that's your image. That's your interior. So you can also say increase the height a little bit more, which will in turn, like give you the effect. I can keep it somewhere around here. Yeah, that seems doable. Now if you see this, wouldn't have the center one. So I'm gonna do another B-rep and just plug all these in into one particular component. So I can hide everything else, and this is our final component. So I can bake this. I'll make it as a group and bake it, or you can individually bake each and every layer separately. And now if I kind of like close this, open this up. So there you go. Yep, that's with respect to session 4, and like we are we are done with the course right here. So after this, we are going to be looking into ways of building the pavilion. So it's a optional set of like sessions which will happen somewhere around June 15, June mid, where we'll send you the links of the Zoom meetings. You people can join in with respect to like your interest, and these people like will be joining in with these people to build, construct the design and construct the final pavilion by July, August. Okay. Yep. Thank you.